Coming home late, aren't we? Having a busy night? No need to be hasty, Blitzy. You would hate to disturb the neighbors. I insist. Sit. Oh, so you can listen to sense. And here I was worried that tonight wouldn't work out. You ruined me, Blitzy. Can't I just want a chat with my oldest friend? Well, if you're offering, there's plenty I would want from you. A bone marrow sample, maybe? Or if you just, took a day off, that would be... Sounds testy. What, want too many cats stuck in trees? Well, if you're just going to ruin this, there's no point in beating around the bush, is there? Someone rather close to you is in grave danger, Blitzar. Worse. Getting hurt would be simple. Death would be easy. But this? What they are in store for? Now, don't go getting ahead of yourself, Blitzy. You won't find them out there. Hiding them? Why, I don't know what you mean. Wow, you must be really wound up, huh? If I recall, the last time you held me this close, you weren't nearly so straight-faced. Easy. My jacket alone is worth more than everything in this dingy little apartment put together. And besides, I'm being nothing but cooperative. Well, can you blame me for having my fun? One of us has to. Please, I just popped in for a visit. Didn't even break to enter. And you're the one threatening to pummel a non-combatant. If anything, I'm the victim here. And you must really be steamed not to pick up any of my subtext here. Come on, Blitzy. Use that black hole in your head. Put the pieces together. Then let me dumb it down for you. Everything I've said since you walked in has been true. Except maybe you being my oldest friend. I know some real fossils. Really? You're the least cooperative hero I know. I already said it, Blitzy. I'm the victim. I'm here for your help. Honest to goodness, or badness if you would prefer. Believe me, coming here is going to incur quite the I told you so. I wouldn't be in your dreadfully plain apartment if I didn't have to be. Oh, I think you'll want to hear me out first. Because I've been cursed, Blitzy. The void texts were too much for me, and you were right. No, please do take your time gloating. It's not as though I have any sort of deadline coming up. Actually, while you do that, I'll take the opportunity to simply... Oh, don't be a prude. You've seen me in less. And somehow I feel like you won't take me seriously without getting a really good look at what's happening to me. Quite a sight, isn't it? And I'm not just talking about me shirtless. Turns out, gazing into the waking void makes it do a little more than gaze back. Aren't you a smart cookie? But no, this is a few degrees more extreme than what you dealt with that cult. Put simply, I'm a much better host than any of those wannabe magicians. Just like them, the void is eating my soul, for lack of a better phrase. But I've got a little more to give. This little number won't turn me into a mindless husk like it did to them. It'll turn me into a soldier. A completely loyal servant to an unfeeling void, and with all of my skill and fine motor control intact. A little scarier than some space-themed zombies, wouldn't you say? Well, even if we clearly care for different reasons, I'm sure you would agree that keeping me around is the lesser evil. So, I'm also sure you will be more than happy to help me. Yes? And suddenly you remember who you're talking to. But I promise you needn't worry, Blitzy. It's a small ask, really. All I need from you is your carcass on an altar. You should have seen the look on your face, Blitzy. It's priceless. And I, of course, kid. If I needed you dead, I wouldn't have wasted time talking. No, I just need a kiss. To quote the scriptures on how to cure the curse, translated for your listening pleasure, to avoid, a void must be fed. Opposites together that mean nothing. In lack, you will find salvation. That's quite a paraphrase, but in the original tome, it's even more clear. To get rid of this void inside of me, we need to make our own and sort of swap them out. And for my circumstances, the only acceptable substitute would be an act void of love, given in a loving way. Hence, a pair of enemies sharing a kiss. With tongue. Another joke. But I rather enjoyed the color your face turned. Makes me wish I had gone with my original plan and upsold you on a night in the cheats. Regardless, tongue is optional. By definition, our kiss needs to come from a place of complete hatred and self-interest, so you're allowed to do whatever you feel is the bare minimum. Sometime in the next 40 minutes, preferably, as you took longer to return than I expected. Honest, all I need is for you to push up on your tippy toes, give me a quick peck, and then I'll do the rest to shove this void back to where it came from. Once we're done, you can even try to detain me, and we'll make the usual show of it. Cute. Trying to get something more out of this, really. But I think you forget that even if I'm the one losing my body, you still have zero leverage. If I go, it's bye-bye reasonable evil magician, hello herald of the infinite void. Consider yourself forgiven for a poor attempt at extortion. Now, do I need to take the lead, or would you like to play act being in charge? Aren't you just adorable when you're trying to... No, Blitzy, nothing's wrong. I'm just so glad that you're exactly as transparently naive as I thought you were. It's charming, really. And if that wasn't enough, you really are the cutest when you're trying to catch up. What's wrong, Blitzer? Something not going the way you planned? Oh, am I still cursed? Are you sure? And you wound me yet again. Do I really come off that way, Blitzy? Like the type of person who would inflict their nemesis with a punishment they earned? What, just to save myself? Just to get rid of you? Well, as much as I would love for you to rip your suit off looking for a mark, you needn't. Despite your worst assumptions, you're not cursed. And neither am I anymore, if that wasn't clear. What? All this? The massive festering hole in my chest? That is a puzzle, isn't it? What to do about this seemingly so pressing matter? Oh, all better. Honestly, Blitzy, did you really think I would ever be such a hack as to get cursed by some void that can't even bother to manifest in our plane? I would be insulted by the implication if I hadn't sold the act so well. Oh, it was very much real. Keyword was. I've had a great and terrible void on a leash since last Tuesday. Actually, I think you will be quite displeased with some of my plans for it, but that really isn't relevant to what was on my chest. That, my dear Blitzer, was a trap. One you jumped into lip first. But luckily, or maybe unluckily for you, it was designed to get something much better than pain out of you. Would you like a monologue to straighten things out? Too bad. You see, that little translation I told you wasn't all a lie. In fact, it was almost completely the truth. If I wasn't so immensely fantastic, And that whole loveless void thing would have been the only way to fix me. Well, I have had some suspicions for quite some time now. Questions about just how honest the Blitzer was really being with me. And then that curse fell right into my lap, and inspiration just struck. Really, darling? Are you still not there yet? More talking time for me then. The piece of void in me was very much active, Blitzy, albeit tamed and modified a bit. So if we had kissed completely lovelessly, it would have shriveled up. Now, I already knew the answer to my half of the equation, and I edited the void enough that my input wouldn't change a thing either way. So, if it didn't work, then someone was harboring some feelings they haven't been completely open about. Oh, there's no use in denying it now, Blitzy. Maybe when it was just banter or you were being annoyingly immune to my mind reading, you could. But now, cat's out of the bag, hon. I caught you. That's a lot of talk for someone who's been eyeing me ever since that gross little curse went away. A little before, too. But who's keeping track? I'm gonna stop you right there, Blitzy, because clearly you are in denial. Instead, let's just play pretend for a bit, huh? We're so good at that, aren't we? Then wipe the blush off your face and consider this seriously, Blitzy. Who are you? A hero? A savior? Humanity's lost best hope? That's who I thought you were. The one person on this planet I would be willing to consider my equal. And the press is certainly with me. But if you want to disagree... And humble too. Point being, you are a person who does what's right. I am not. Not usually, at least. By most standards, I'm a pretty bad person at least once a week. But I don't have to be, do I? It's not like I've never done anything good. Never protected Earth when something serious happened. Never helped a certain superhero, even if they've got a head denser than a dying star. So, this is opportunity knocking, Blitzy. Even if you hated me, which you don't. Getting me in a more casual setting, mask off, no schemes or tricks, that would be a great way to push me toward good. To take a major villain off the board. Hell, maybe even flip me if you dream big enough. And don't you want to fix me, Blitzy? Don't you see the good in me? Then I don't see what the problem is. And clearly I know where you live, so maybe it's best not to upset me. Don't be so fatalistic about it. It's just a new spin on our relationship. Anyone with a brain can tell we have chemistry. So why not act on it? Especially if it will help save the world. And I will probably only talk you into like 1 or 2 crimes. Another joke. You're much too stubborn to be talked into crime. I would be much more subtle if I wanted you to break the law. Like right now, for instance. Since seeing a supervillain in the progress of any evil act, such as, say, blackmail, and not reporting it immediately is actually a misdemeanor these days. I have to say, that was a lot more believable before we kissed, Blitzy. I know, I'm terrible, aren't I? But that doesn't quite sound like you rejected my ultimatum. So, does that mean we're dating now? Of course. It's a big decision. Huge responsibility. Say, how about we take me up on that night in the sheet to help you figure it out? No, really? Could I, with my hours of hostage negotiation and various duress demands, have miscalculated? Or was I just softening for a follow-up ask? That's why I like you so much, Blitzy. Really an adequate rival in every sense. Equals. Well, actually, I suppose you're not quite my equal without those platforms on. And I guess I know your whole secret identity and not the other way around, huh? What say we change that? Well, I do have a spell for that, if I wanted. But I was thinking we ought to continue tonight in my place. It's a lot nicer than yours. Promise. Blitzy, would I lie to you about something that personal? Good answer. But I'm serious. I do want to see us together, as again, near equals. And since you've already unwillingly afforded me some vulnerability, it's only fair. Tell you what, I will stay here and definitely not snoop through your things while you go clean up and deal with that. And then we'll talk. Should give you plenty of time to decide. That? The hole in your side, Blitzy? You've been bleeding since you walked in. The look on your face, really, it's just too easy. You're fine, but you could be better. I've seen as much. I expect some effort on our date night at least. So go, clean up, and I'll have my car around before you're done. I'm sure. See you soon, Blitzy. Thank you for listening to this audio. This script is by SplashiestPig, who is a very talented writer, so please go give them some appreciation, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube nonsense, and I will see you guys next time. Alright? Bye-bye.